So I'm here at the Vientiane Centre, where they're just setting up the a little mini motor show in Vientiane Centre, Vientiane, Laos. And sorry, the video's a little bit rough around the edges because it was done in a bit of a hurry. But the girls aren't rough in any way. There's some very beautiful girls getting ready for their main show, which starts tomorrow. So yeah, I just first of all we'll have a quick look at some of the girls getting their sequences ready, looking really beautiful, and then move on to the most expensive car here, which is Aston Martin with a BMW motorbike next to it. A really beautiful British car that's actually been featured in some of my other videos. And if you can't quite afford a Aston Martin, but you like a British feel of a car, there's the MGs, which are actually a Chinese company now, but it's actually an iconic British brand, which the Chinese bought. And the yellow one, which is GT, does actually look pretty nice. And there's some other Chinese cars here that many people won't have heard of, such as the GWM. I think they're trying to say power, and with a 2-litre turbo diesel with 400 torques, it's actually pretty powerful. It looks like a pretty solid looking rig, and with a very impressive chrome grille. The byline of them is the best pickup in China for the last 23 years, but I've never heard of GWM before. I came to Laos, and it's pretty interesting, some of the Chinese cars you get. Also, there's GAC motors, which makes some pretty solid looking SUVs of all sizes. The most solid looking one is the GS8. That's definitely the pick of the choice from GAC Motors. There's also a big presence from the Korean manufacturers, including Kia, who have got a couple of cars on display. Kia have got and Hyundai had a long relationship with Laos, both car and actually motorbikes, surprisingly. And of course there's some Japanese cars, more familiar brands like a couple of Nissans here, including this really solid Nissan SUV. Maybe they'll last better than the Chinese cars, but who knows. And also, as well as Nissan, there were Mazda. I didn't get any very good shots of Mazda, but there's also Suzuki. I've got a presence here, and Suzuki have got a couple of vehicles here, including the Jimny, which is probably the ideal car for Laos because it's small, manoeuvrable, tough, because a lot of the roads in Laos are pretty bad still, and probably very fun, and one of my favourite cars here, and though not my absolute favourite, that's a surprise for the end. But if you can't afford a Tesla and you want an electric car, you buy a BYD. BYD makes some pretty slick looking electric cars. They're a Chinese company. They started off making clones of Toyotas and Citroen C1 clones 10 years ago, and now they make some pretty tidy looking electric cars, if that's your thing, and you can't afford the Tesla prices. And if you can't afford a BYD, you have to drive a Whaling if you want an electric car. In 20 years time, maybe everyone will be driving Whalings. Personally, I think it's a horrible idea, but they're an electric car, and they're from China, that's very cheap. I'm not sure what I can say about them, except I'd probably rather drive one of these than take the bus. But the car I saved till last is the car that I'd really like to drive home from the the Vientiane Centre tonight. It's actually the oldest car here, and it's a Honda. It's an old Honda EK, but it's a really nice one with some really perfect modifications. Endless brakes all round. NK wheels. Obviously a B series. Can't say no more. Classic B series of a Type R EK9 Honda hatch. Really lovely car, and even with the Aston Martin being here, this Honda Civic Type R EK is my favourite car. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Really appreciate it if you could subscribe.